Okay, welcome back. Now we're looking at problem number 4. So, after how many days would you pay the same fee at Duke's Kennels and Lakeside Kennels? So let's take a look at that. We are assuming that you're paying all the fees. So we're paying to board the dog and for playtime. Board the dog and playtime. And we have to justify our answer. So let's look at writing an expression for each of these. So for Duke's Kennels, I can write it is 40 plus 16.25, make sure my decimal is going, x plus 8.5x. So I can combine my like terms. So combine these like terms real quick. And have a final equation of 2475x plus 40. Now let's look at Lakeside Kennels. Lakeside is, again, 40 plus 1525x plus 950x. And we're going to do the same thing here. We are going to combine our like terms. Oops, sort of missed part of the 15, but that's okay. And let's see what we end up at. We have 2475x plus 40. So the question is, after how many days would you pay the same fee? So we have 2475x plus 40 for Duke's Kennels. And we're going to find out when they're going to be equal to 2475x plus 40 for Lakeside. Well, I can take one look at this and say, look, I have the exact same equations. I've got the exact same expressions. This is called an identity. We call it an identity because it's the same. They are both the exact same. If we solved it, we would end up with something like x equals x, or 0 equals 0, or 40 equals 40, depending on what we did. And all of those would be fine. We would say this has infinitely many answers. What does that mean? That means if my dogs were boarded for 1 day at each kennel, they'd be the same price if they're boarded for 2 days. Any number of days that they boarded would be the exact same. Any number can make it true. So let's look at your last question. After how many days, so we're doing the same thing, after how many days would you pay the same fee for Lakeside and Sunbrook? Okay, well, we're going to assume you're paying for all the fees, and we have to justify our answer. So let's do the same thing. Lakeside charges $40 plus $15.25 per day. Everything's per day. Remember, it's our x plus 9.5x. So remember, we wrote that as 40 plus 2475x. Sunbrook Kennels charges $45.99 plus 18 per day, 18x plus $6.75 per day. 6.75x. We combine our like terms here. We get 45.99 plus 24.75x. So let's set those two. Let's set this and this, our two expressions, equal to each other. So I have 40 plus 24.75x equals 45.99 plus 24.75x. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract 40 from both sides. So that gives me 24.75x equals 5.99 plus 24.75x. Next, I'm going to subtract 24.75. Okay, here I was subtracting 40. Next line, I'm going to subtract the 24.75x from both sides. Well, that gives me 0 equals 5.99. Well, I take one look at that and I say, that is not true. It is not equal. That's what that symbol means. The equal sign with this line through it means it is not equal. Notice this is not a true statement. That means that it would not matter how many days. They would never, ever, ever cost the same. Well, how can I tell that just looking at this? Well, let's go back to looking at the expressions that we wrote. Notice both of them charge the same fee per day, that 24.75x, but they each charge different base fees. No matter what, no matter how many days I had my dogs at those kennels, it would never, ever, ever cost the same. This is a null set or no solution. And that's what we'd have to say, is they would never have the same price because they have different base fees and we would pay the same rate per day.